went to bleeding races, 'twas on the 9th of June 1862 on a summer's afternoon. I took the bus to Bamberley's and she was heavy laden. Away we went along Collingwood Street, that's on the road to bleeding.
You're watching TOON Army TV. So breaking news, the Premier League will be restarting on June the 17th, 2020. The Premier League is resuming after 3 months away, after what's been a very difficult time for all Premier League clubs, for all football clubs around the UK. But the top flight will be returning after a 3-month absence. Staff, players, fans alike have all been worried in terms of what's going to happen with the rest of the 2019-2020 Premier League season. We've now got answers and the football is coming back, but unfortunately fans will not be allowed to attend the games at their respective stadiums because games are getting played behind closed doors. If you have been watching the Bundesliga in Germany, that has gone through successfully for the past couple of weeks, and the Premier League in terms of England are a couple of weeks behind the Bundesliga, Spain and Italy. But now players are back in full training. They're now doing contact in terms of going in for tackles, and they have now come to the decision of all clubs that it will be safe to bring the Premier League back on June the 17th. Now that will be a Wednesday night where 2 games will be taking place, and that will be Manchester City versus Arsenal and Aston Villa versus Sheffield United. Now, those clubs have only played 28 games, and to try and get it to level on 29 games, those 2 games have to be played. And then after that, there will be hopefully a game on the Friday night, which will be on the 19th. And then the first weekend of games will conclude on Saturday the 20th and Sunday the 21st of June. Now, Newcastle United should be in action on either Saturday or Sunday, because Sheffield United obviously have to play their game on Wednesday. So it's a case of we have to wait and see. Will the game get played at St James's Park? You'd like to think so. There has been talk of neutral grounds, but we'll wait and see as the weeks progress to see what happens there. The FA Cup apparently is returning as well, so we can play our game against Manchester City if you're a Newcastle United fan, or if you're a club in the Premier League still in the FA Cup, and the final will be played in August. So it's good to see that we can still play our FA Cup quarter final. It's not in doubt, and there has been talk of the games in the FA Cup getting played at a neutral ground, so Newcastle may not get our game at St James's Park. Fingers crossed we do get the game at St James's Park. You will then say, well, what's the difference because there's no fans there? But the way I look at it is, if you're playing at home, you sort of know the surroundings, so we've kind of got a sneakily a little bit of an advantage there over Manchester City and anybody that comes up. But then again, you never know. Now, playing games behind closed doors, of course, it's going to have its disadvantages because fans can't attend, and fans are going to ask about their season tickets and general sale tickets that have been bought before this pandemic came around. Now, in my opinion, if games are getting played behind closed doors, which is what they're going to be, getting played behind closed doors, fans who bought season tickets or general sale tickets should be refunded what's remaining of the season. That is only the right thing to do. Now, in terms of games going forward, apparently there's going to be up to 20-25 games getting streamed free to air if you don't have a Sky or a BT subscription, which again is only a good thing because it is quite expensive, to watch football these days. And with people, tempted to go outside the ground and maybe watch the players go into the stadium and ready for the game, they want to try and keep fans at home, and I think that is the right thing to do. Right now it shouldn't be about money. It should be about allowing the fans, if you're going to keep we're indoors, to allow fans to be able to have access to their club or another Premier League match to keep them entertained while we're still in this pandemic. And I think it's a really good idea. Obviously BT and Sky are going to have their games as well, so there will be games where you might have to pay for a subscription, but there will be selected games out there where you can actually watch them for free. And like I say, we will get the football back in terms of football fans being able to go back to the stadiums. It's a matter of when. It could be next season, it could be maybe September, October when the new season starts, it could be in 6 months' time. We have absolutely no idea. The Premier League, are taking a huge risk. You can say that, bringing the football back on the 17th of June, because we're only one case away from it all being stopped. If players start catching it, fingers crossed that isn't the case, or even any staff, because we want to try and get back to some sort of normality. Things are starting to get back to normal, but it's going to sort of happen in stages. There is some positivity there to be seen, in the UK, and if everybody just keeps sticking to the government guidelines, I'm sure we can get that normality back sooner rather than later. And for me, I love me football. I've missed me football. I live for football. I love working during the week, and I love watching Newcastle United play on a Saturday or a Sunday, because it takes my mind off the moments in the week where it may be tough, and just getting behind the lads, getting behind the manager, and seeing the TOON pick up 3 points hopefully, and just seeing other fans who I get on well with. And like I say, I love football because you get to have a drink and you get to sort of mingle as well, which is the main thing, not just supporting the team, but you get to do a lot in terms of what you wouldn't be able to do during the week, if you're at work. So yeah, it is positive that it's coming back, and fingers crossed things go okay, and hopefully fingers crossed we get this takeover as well. There is talk of the takeover happening before Project Restart. Is that realistic? You could say so, but nobody really knows. Fingers crossed Mike Ashley leaves and that we can progress as a football club. Yeah, it's just rumbling on right now, and let's just watch this space, and watch this space in terms of how the football goes along, in terms of after when it starts up in the 17th of June. Of course, there's been talk of the EFL, what's going to happen to the Championship. Well, I'm sure the Championship will probably start the same weekend, if not the weekend after, because the money between the Premier League and the Championship is different, because there's more money in the Premier League than what there is in the Championship, and the Championship need to try and get their clubs sorted out, get the clubs who need to be promoted, and get the playoffs sorted. I do believe that they will go ahead with that league as well and get the relegations confirmed. In terms of League One, well, I'm hearing that it could be points per game. So unfortunately, Sunderland, it's a third season in League One. But anyway, less of that. Football is coming back on the 17th of June, and I will be back with me previews, of course, me reviews of matches. And I want to try and get more of you guys on the channel as well, if you want to do like live streams as well. So there's plenty to look forward to on this channel. So that is that. Please, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below, follow me on social media, TOON Army TV on Instagram and Twitter. I'll follow you back. And until the next one, keep it tuned. Cheerio.
Hey,